Hi, I'm David Myron, Editorial Director of CRM Magazine, Speech Tech Magazine, and SmartCustomerService.com. Joining me here today at our CRMevolution Speech Tech Customer Service Experience event are Volker Hildebrand, who's the Global Vice President at SAP Hybris, and Samir Patel, who is the Global Senior Vice President at Hybris as well. SAP Hybris. So, gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
What does a company need to do to say, I need to get from point A, type of thinking of internal process driven, to point B, which is customer driven?
So I think there's two things. You can answer that question from A, the customer's viewpoint, and then B, from the company, the seller's viewpoint, I guess, right? From the customer's viewpoint, what they're expecting of you is based on the goods you sell, the product mix in your basket, right? Understanding that for every product, every SKU, every category of products, that buying journey is going to be different. Some of them require a lot of hand-holding because they're complex goods, they're emotional buys. Some of them are simple. It's a headset for my iPhone, get me through that really quickly, that's how you respect me, right? How am I employing technology to be able to respect multi-dimensional journeys in that sense? Because most vendors will have products that are easy, that are difficult. You've got to be able to respect that, right? So you have to rethink from the point that, from the awareness to consideration through purchase, post-purchase support, loyalty, what is that journey, right? So that you have to have an innate understanding before you employ any technology. Right. And then of course figure out which ones get you there because they've been designed to support that. So I think that's one. I think the second thing from a vendor standpoint is really the analytics. So the state of analytics today, which by the way helps you be more profitable and support the customer, have been very siloed. Because you had engagement metrics on one side in a system that didn't talk to the commerce engine, which didn't talk to the support engine or service engine, right? So how do you then truly understand the 360 of that customer, or even the products? Which products require a gradual drop down into the buy button? Which ones are easy and can actually move down? Where is the content investments that I'm making truly moving the needle on conversion? Which, and you start to really associate the investments you make in inbound content marketing and customer engagement down to a SKU level to truly understand the ROI, right? Yeah. That is a value of digital first models.
And how is SAP enabling that type of transition for a company?
So the big thing we're doing, and I'll take this one just because I'm on the product side, right? I think the biggest, most foundational thing we're doing, and this is something that people don't realize when they think SAP, right, is in this space of CRM, almost 80% of this infrastructure we're talking about was built in the last 24 months, right? So it's modern microservices-based architectures, and why does that matter? That matters because if we are truly to stand here and commit to a customer and say, we are going to let you build the experience exactly how you need to make sure that journey is optimized for the customer, it's kind of hokey to say that and then throw monolithic systems at you. The reality is you can stitch together just the right amount of community, just the right amount of commerce, just the right amount of service to be able to respond to that promise that you make to the customer. So when they touch you, whether it's through a mobile device or what have you, they can tell instantly that you've thought about the goods you sell. You've thought about how difficult it is for them to make the buying decision. You've thought about conversion, and you're going to walk them through that promise, right? So when you look at Hybris Commerce, which is, again, API first, you look at SAP Jam Communities, built on microservices, 100% API first. Everything is built, API is built before the front end's built. It's that modern, right? Service, built in the last 24 months, brand new again. You can truly start to employ 21st century technology and stitch these experiences together, right? So that is the core of it.
Yeah, and I think this approach is really important because what we're seeing, and if you look at it from a customer perspective or consumer perspective, they don't care about whether it's a service product or a sales application or a commerce application. They don't care about this, right? But at the end of the day, from a customer perspective, in order to engage throughout that customer journey, whether it's before the sale, during the sale, or after they made a purchase and they may need support in how they use the product or they need to troubleshoot, whatever, the lines are blurring, right? And we were talking about how do you support customers during the buying process. okay, is that sales? Is that if it online? Oh no, then it's commerce. No, it's actually service because the customer needs support to make his buying decision. So what is it? The lines clearly are blurring. If you have monolithic applications for commerce, for this, for service, for that, it's never going to.
That's actually designed around your org chart. That's not designed around the customer.
Exactly.
That's because you had to give someone the service portfolio, right?
And so on the technology side, you need to have this flexible and agile technology because even we as SAP, who kind of sell almost everything in the enterprise, we also acknowledge, there might be a marketing automation tool from some other vendor that a company may want to use, and there's maybe a very specific industry-specific little app that does something really well, and so it all needs to come together. But with the microservices architecture, you have the flexibility and the agility to easily plug this in, and then really with the end customer in focus, right, to provide that seamless and frictionless customer engagement and customer experience that you want to achieve.
And it's all in the cloud, by the way, yeah? So like you get that flexibility in the cloud, which is really important because the technology has evolved to a point in time now. Right. We couldn't do this in the cloud. It used to be you need to buy it on premise. No, you can actually do it in the cloud. That's really important. Right. So customers can actually drive those economies of scale that they need. I mean, they have to pay for this. They want to make sure it's palatable to their wallets, right? So.
And then in addition to that, compared to more traditional cloud applications, the microservices approach now also allows you as an organization to differentiate because you have the flexibility and agility. Right. First generation cloud solutions were primarily, here's what it is, right, and adapt your processes. Use it as it is. There's very little differentiation. You're using it the same way as I'm using it. Now our approach allows you, again, as an organization to differentiate, and that's becoming increasingly important. Right?
So having the flexibility, the agility that you talked about, giving that to the enterprises, to your clients, and enabling them to more quickly respond to customers, their needs, their wants. Yeah. It sounds great, right? What's holding companies back from making that leap?
Well, I think there's multiple reasons. There are some reasons on the technology side, but the biggest obstacle probably is on the organizational side, right? Most organizations are still structured in siloed. They have different objectives, different metrics, different KPIs, different incentives. The marketing organization has different incentives than the service organization, and that might be different from commerce, and then there's some other guy who's responsible for the online community. And they're not really coming together, even if they talk to each other, at the end of the day, they're, you always go where the carrot is. And so that's one big reason why it doesn't work in many organizations, or why it's a challenge, and that's why I believe it really needs to come from the top down, where you need to, as an organization, embrace that notion of true customer centricity.
I think the other thing too is I think the question that you asked would have probably been a more valid question about a year and a half ago, right? Because to be frank, the roof wasn't on fire. The roof wasn't on fire, and what you had installed was good enough. Yeah. The roof is on fire now, right? If you look at all of the natively digital businesses that have entered all our lives, and I don't want to use overused examples like Uber, but you get that, right? And you try to deconstruct these businesses, and you look at how they're formed. They're formed with the customer in mind, and then they fill up the experience based on how the customer wants to interact with you. Right. And so every boardroom right now, every boardroom of every company is having that discussion and saying, is there an imminent Uber in our industry, or is there one that could be? Right. And if they were to start with a clean slate, how would that look? Right? And it doesn't mean that the risk is tomorrow, but you know that something's coming out of left field, and we need to be ready for it. One of the places that the Ubers of the world win is customer experience, right? So I think that, to back to your question, I think a year ago it was a big problem. Right. Every board in the last 12 months has had this discussion, and is going to figure out, maybe in some cases it's supply chain, in some cases it's internal operations, in many cases it's customer experience.